These are some questions from the channel. Allowing is becoming more and more confusing. Allow it to be. Hug your emotions. Love your suffering. Observe it. Go inside. Go outside. And expand the space. Dissociate from narrative. Nothing makes sense anymore. Do I have any power to push or even pull anything? Some say do nothing. Isn't that doing already? How to do not doing? What is allowing? Who allows what? Observe, don't resist. Do I have a power to resist? And the last one, surrender. Looks fancy and cool to surrender, isn't it? They wrote books about it. Even ayahuasca failed to show me that. She told me, doesn't matter. Come with me. I feel your pain. I remember it. It's not easy dying. That's what's happening to you. I can't tell you what to do. The belief in thought is the cause of this turmoil. A concept is a concept. It's not real. Life is going just fine without us understanding it. Knowing is a comfort blanket that protects us from this death. The known is what we cling to, but there is no such thing. This is unknowable, and it can be terrifying. Everything that is happening with you is completely natural and understandable. This person had a reaction when you said Adi Ashanti's quote about "you don't want it yet." That's my situation here, but still, who decides if they want it now or not? If it's all this, then this is the only thing to decide when. Or is it another mind trick? You got it. No one chooses. There is nothing to stand apart from reality and change it. That's the illusion. This is it. This doesn't need to be recognized for it to already be what it is. All we have are our stories. We are story-making animals. We cannot speak without apparent dualism. That is why this message seems to contradict itself. Speakers speak to others as if they are others. They really aren't. I can't even say the word "this" without inferring an illusion, because simply saying "this" refers to the fact that there is a that. This cannot be escaped, my friend. The paradoxes resolve themselves when it is seen that this is all there is. This is free to be bound, confused, avoiding clarity, and anything at all. Already. It has nothing to do with an idea of you or I. I truly appreciate your raw and genuine sharing. Although after hearing Tony Parsons last month for the first time, there was a complete devastation, so I stopped listening to non-dual stuff, or even inquiry. But then I picked it up again. The idea of doing is still not exhausted, and soon it will be, maybe. But listening to you, not to what you're saying, there's something communicated, I don't know it, but it's there. Thank you. Yes, I did the exact same thing when I first heard Tony Parsons and Jim Newman. I was put off by the message. It was a couple of years for me before I resonated with it. The directness of it can be confronting to the self in a way that gives us nothing to do. And of course, we want something to do because it gives us the illusion of becoming a better version of ourselves. But this is perfectly imperfect. It doesn't need to become. I have a question regarding your own experience. Was the falling away of the self a gradual experience, or was it a moment when it became clear to you the illusory nature of it? It was extremely gradual for me. Was there any action, intention on your part, and doesn't any such movement take away from what is? I'm caught between a desire to know the self or to keep giving it up. I guess it all is still operating in the mind. Yes, I went through what you were describing. It is eventually seen that nothing causes clarity, and nothing can prevent it. So you can breathe easy, and just do what is obvious right now. Even if it's taking a break, or binge watching TV, or napping, or practicing. Do whatever you want, basically. It all seems confusing until it's not. If this apparent process is unraveling, then you can't mess it up. You're not actually doing any of it, so you can't really sabotage it or help it. Do what you do. It's all happening spontaneously. Thank you. I feel light and sad at the same time. You're welcome. This isn't a state. It includes all states. Sadness, lightness, all. Anything can arise in already this. Can you tell me what is the purpose of this life and why are we here? Life is purposeless. If there is a purpose, it is to simply be. God gave us this life. How can it be purposeless? Do you believe in self-realization? And how can we achieve God? God gave us this life is only a concept. We don't actually know that, or anything for that matter. It's more intuitive. That is simply a clear seeing. No one becomes enlightened. Enlightenment simply already is. It doesn't need to be seen for it to be what it is. It's difficult to describe. Can you tell me life after death? I don't know what happens. There are already no actual individuals, only illusions of self and other. So if there is an afterlife, that will only be another level of illusion, with no actual self or other. Only wholeness, and beautiful, convincing stories and dreams. I don't say nothing will happen because I don't know that. Do you believe in God? All there is wholeness, everything and nothing, simultaneously. I have no problem with calling that God. You can call it whatever you want, but it will remain inconceivable. Words and concepts can't touch this. This being all and nothing, empty fullness. Can you tell me what your beliefs and thoughts about spirituality are? I have no beliefs. Belief thoughts can arise, but they are seen for what they are. Concepts. This is what falls when the self falls. Beliefs and meaning. Can you tell me more about yourself? I'm a regular person. There's not much to tell. Nothing impressive. Life. What does it truly mean to you? Well, nothing. Life is for the sake of living. That's all. It is said that everything is planned by Almighty. Why bad things like rape, terrorism, hate, violence, etc. going on everywhere in this cruel world? God created everything. God is pure love. But why is He allowing this? Humans have conditioned standards that say it shouldn't be this way. Life says different. When you argue with life, you lose every time, my friend. We think we know what the world should be. We don't. I've been thinking about a thought-free state. I can't quite imagine such a thing. When the collapse of the self happens, thoughts still arise. Thoughts, feelings, and actions are more free to arise than ever before after the collapse of the self. They're no longer stifled by identity and beliefs that we should be some other way. It's finally allowed, but by no one. This next questioner asked about free will. Free will is only a concept. Think about it. Am I wrong? So what happened here is I finally saw thoughts for what they are. Thoughts. We can wonder and contemplate philosophy, but can we actually know? If you say you're thirsty and I write down the word water and give it to you on paper and say you're welcome, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. The word water can't quench thirst. It's only a word, literally. Perhaps you mean that there is no free will. We are 100% puppets. Whether we believe in individual free will or destiny, or any mixture of possibilities, it's only a concept, nothing more. We can't actually know. This is unknowing. Understanding is a very warm blanket that protects us from this chaotic reality. We don't know what anything is, or how, or why. We can't. But we can pretend we do. We do subconsciously and via conditioning for comfort of the known, which doesn't exist. The known is a concept, not actual. This is the last place we want to look. Nothing need be known, actually. Nature functions perfectly without it. Words aren't inherently wrong. It's just not true. only true in the sense of a bird chirping. So there was a seeing that no one is doing this. So no, there is no individual free will, only the flow of life. But you can't see that until life sees it through you. There is no you to see it or prevent the seeing. Then a layer of conceptual illusion drops. But life is quite ordinary because it's always been this way. It's not more special than not seeing it. Concepts are then seen as concepts. Time is flowy. Language is meaningless and fun, like a game. And everything that triggered us before still arises. There is just no identification with them. It can be no other way. So they are what they are, and are now gone. There is no belief in thought. None. Thought can be quite funny sometimes. It's not you, so why not? Do you think the older message is still useful for people at different stages? I think different messages resonate at different times of understanding. I wouldn't call it helpful, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with believing in process. It's understandable why we would. And it cannot prevent clear seeing. Practice can be great for quality of life and calming the nervous system on an animalistic, practical level. If the apparent process is believed, there is nothing that can be done about that. But these beliefs get in the way of true understanding, is what you seem to be pointing to. They do directly contradict, but I believed in them right up until the end. Nothing could stop the falling away. Do you still go through cycles of contraction, or does that fall away as well? I know what you mean, meing and being. So what seems to happen is that the thoughts and emotions and things that trigger us before don't go away. But it is finally seen that it absolutely cannot be any other way. And when that is seen, there is a relaxing and seeing that there is nothing inherently wrong with contraction. Compassion arises. No one is doing it. Contraction can happen. It usually moves through quickly and doesn't linger because it's no longer sticky. When we see no one is doing it, it loses most of its juice and interest. It's nice to humanize you. Right. This is a regular, ignorant, selfish human. Sounds like I know what I'm talking about, but this whole thing is about unknowing. Describing sounds like I'm an authority or something. No. Clear seeing feels a lot like losing the game. I'm glad you stumbled your way into peace. If I had to deserve this, I would be screwed. I love regular language, even though it can't point to truth. All we have are apparent stories. They're beautiful, especially when they are seen as stories. Do you still watch non-duality videos? I still watch stuff, but not to get anything. I love the different ways of describing this, and I like to try to expand my own description. It's different, though, because I'm not seeking something. It's not how I imagined it at all. I feel an urge to describe this. I don't feel I need to share, but I feel an urge to, if that makes sense. It's just fun. No reason not to. I don't feel the need to wake people up. I just want to commune. You come off as authentic. Thank you. And if you think about it, there is no such thing as inauthenticity without the self. Everything is just happening. Authentic or not is irrelevant. Did you come up with that? Something did. I don't know where anything comes from. It's just fun to watch. Nothing I did ever caused this. I gave up. That's when it happened, even though it's not a happening. Utter hopelessness and futility. That's when the light appeared. Was this sudden for you or gradual? Gradual, so much that it was like a day and a half before I realized what happened. I didn't label it. Then it was like, this? And a lot of laughter and fear, too. Bit of disappointment because it's never what we think it is. The person goes on doing person things without the mirage of doership. The illusion is only a thought believed. That's all. Do you still feel a center? Fleeting senses of it, so ephemeral, it's almost not there at all. Now it's gone. What's gone? I don't know. It's like that. Even when it's here, there is no identification with it. You said synchronicity is the ultimate bait and switch. Can you elaborate? Not sure I understand. I'm just pointing to the phenomenon of being inexplicably drawn to our own psychological death, as if it is going to give us something. All we really have are labels and stories. Once we conceive of something, we turn it into a thing. It seems to be unavoidable. We are drawn like a magnet to our own demise, and then the whole rug is pulled, and it's not what we thought it was going to be. It seems like a natural trick, like a Venus flytrap. Are you referring to the spiritual search, hamster wheel? That's what is common on the path many of us seem to travel. But it's just an attempt to describe something that can't be understood. It's just what seems to appear. I have no issues with talking about what seems to be. If I did, I wouldn't speak at all.